and all members are present. Our first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions? Seeing none, approval of the agenda as presented. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We will proceed with the agenda as presented. First item is the approval of the October 15th, 2025 board minutes. And that's what you're here to talk about.
Yes. So I talked with Teresa about the additional appropriation resolution, and it sounded like there were maybe some changes that got written on it, or were the previous one was amended for one reason or another. So I printed off another copy, which I just realized I need to change the date on it. But I was just curious on what we changed as far as what I had sent, and wanted to make sure that whatever we did approve, if it's okay, then we can completely ignore this. But yeah.
I don't remember why.
We switched what you presented, and then their language later, it was a conflict between what we thought was a conflict. Obviously, we were wrong. Between the rainy day fund, and we read it as there was a shortfall, and changed that to capital outlays. So we switched those two because we thought the language did not reflect what the fund actually had in it.
So, okay.
Yeah, that's
Thank
my
you.
recollection.
Yeah, I thought it was.
So we changed to say, whereas it has been determined that there is a shortfall in the capital outlay budget, I'm assuming so, the township capital outlays line, due to an increased needs for township facility renovations for budget year 2025, whereas it has been determined that it is not necessary to appropriate to the capital outlays lines for improvements to the township facilities in budget year 2025 to be funded with cash on hand. Okay, this is totally fine. Yeah.
After all that.
So we can ignore the handout that I gave today. Now,
Okay.
the reason we say that there's a shortfall is it's really referring to a shortfall in appropriations. It's not talking about a shortfall in
the fund.
in the fund, right? You can't, if there's a shortfall in the fund, you wouldn't be able to do the additional appropriation, period. So when we say shortfall, what we're really referring to is a shortfall of appropriations. We didn't appropriate anything in 2025.
Okay.
When we went through the budget process in 24 for 25, right? There was no appropriations for the rainy day fund. So when we say shortfall, that's really what we're referring to. Now, these changes don't materially change anything that we're trying to do. So the way you guys approved it is totally fine based on what I'm reading here. So,
Yeah, because shortfall to me was there wasn't enough money. I knew there was plenty of money there. I thought it would be a transfer or reappropriation of the rainy day. But when you said shortfall, that kind of, because it sounds like there's a shortfall in the rainy day. Yeah.
well, if there's a shortfall in the rainy day fund, then we couldn't do the
That's
additional
right, that's
appropriation,
right. So when it
period.
read that way.
Yeah.
You're saying that there's a shortfall.
So when we say shortfall, it's
Really,
a better example would be for like in the township general fund. If we had salaries and wages, and for whatever reason it was going to be short, we'd say there's a shortfall in the township general fund for personal services of some kind.
Because the appropriation.
So, right, it's referring to the appropriations. It's not referring to the cash balances. I mean, you can't, if you don't have money to do an appropriation, you can't do it, right? The DPS will not approve it. So I think what we have here, what you guys approved at the last meeting, is totally fine. I just wanted to make sure that whatever was actually changed there still works, and it does. It still reads exactly the same as what we would intend it to read. So, so you can ignore the handout that I gave you guys, and we'll just keep with this one, resolution number 3-2025 being the additional appropriation that we need.
Okay, just for drill, would you like to read how we have it placed in the minutes so that we're correct?
Sure.
And it starts here
Okay.
in that paragraph.
I thought I
There's much discussion on the wording of the additional appropriation resolution number 3. There's much rainy day fund for the building renovation. I made changes to the resolution of Massachusetts whether there's a shortfall in the rainy day fund. There's not a shortfall in the rainy day fund. So the board changed that to read capital outlays. The board changed the second line of the resolution to read capital outlays. Please see the resolution that's been added to the board minute file. The board agreed to approve the resolution with changes. The trustee. Again, I wouldn't change anything in the minutes. I mean, the minutes are the minutes.
Right.
The resolution still reads in a way that we're approving the additional appropriation as needed. So there's nothing that I would change really in any of the documents you guys have. But yeah, just for a future reference would just be when we refer to a shortfall, it's a shortfall in the budget. We're saying there's a shortfall in the budget.
Why wouldn't that be the better way to say that? There's a shortfall in the budget, because it's really then coming out of the rainy day fund to be reappropriated.
You're right. You're right. And we can change the wording, and I'll make a note for whenever we do the next additional appropriation or anything like that in the future that it says there's a shortfall in appropriations for blank within the whatever fund. Therefore, right. It's very explicit on. There's not a shortfall in anything.
Technically, to me, it's not a shortfall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just reappropriating what we have, or additional, whatever one.
Right. It would still say, or we would always still say that there's a shortfall of appropriations as well.
Okay, now I would.
Yeah. So maybe that's how we word in the future, is that there's a shortfall in appropriations in the rainy day fund. So what I'll do is I'll make a note. Here, I don't want to change that one because that one's signed. Yeah.
There's really not a shortfall in the rainy
Yeah,
day
that could
fund.
be.
It's in that line item.
It has to do with shortfall in comparison to the budget, and at some point we have to say that we don't have enough appropriation. So however you guys want that worded, we can word it however you would like. We could say whereas it has been determined
part that's appropriated.
Well, historically we've not appropriated anything in the rainy day fund. So that's
You mean out of it?
right. Out of it,
Yeah, it's
appropriated it, there's been no, right.
Yeah.
We've just had zeros in it previously. So maybe we'll say, whereas it has been determined that there is, I've always said shortfall, but we can use whatever wording you want, but we could say shortfall in appropriations.
Does that have a line item, the additional?
As
Okay, because that needs to, yeah.
as
and that
presented
in line item.
via the
Yeah.
blank year budget. So then it would read, in the future, we'll have it say, whereas it has been determined that there is a shortfall in appropriations as presented via the, for this case, 2025 budget in the rainy day fund due to an increased needs for township facility renovations for budget year 2025. So
I still have a problem with that being shortfall and that it's in rainy day. We're taking it out of rainy day.
right. We are taking that.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're reappropriating from rainy day to this one.
Do you want me to say, whereas it has been determined that there is, at some point we have to say there wasn't enough appropriations.
Yeah, right, in that line item or in that
Instead of
category.
shortfall, not enough. Is that what you're saying?
Well, and I try to use legal language here.
I'm trying to use courthouse language.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use everyday language.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of it. I'm trying to stay out of
It's
it.
like, here we go.
Well, just so long as you understand that it's a
What's the
appropriation,
me or
it's
yes?
not the budget.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Why don't we
say,
just say this? Whereas it has been determined that additional appropriations are needed.
Yep.
So we won't even ever say shortfall. Where it has been determined that additional appropriations are needed in the rainy day fund due to an increased needs for township facility renovations for budget year 2025.
But they're not
Yeah.
needed in the rainy day fund. They're needed in this fund.
We're paying these out of the rainy day fund.
Right, we're paying them out. We're taking out the money to go to, what do you want to, capital outlay.
I already had,
So capital outlays are a line within each of the funds. So, right, there's within the rainy day fund, right, you've got the rainy day fund, you've got the township fund,
Mhm.
and you've got all the other funds. And then within each of those funds, you've got personal services, you've got supplies, you've got services and charges, then you have capital outlays. Capital outlays is not a fund. Capital outlays are a form of appropriation, right? That's one of the major, quote, budget classifications. So every year when we go through the budget, each fund, right? So the rainy day fund, the township assistance fund, township assistance fund, the township general fund, the recreation fund, each of those funds.
They fall under that category, whatever one you got. Like for the rainy day, this would fall under that category, out of that.
Well, each fund has personal services, supplies, services and charges, and capital outlays, as well as debt service too, and then also township assistance for township assistance. So those are actual major budget classifications within each fund. So when
You only have two funds, right?
well, there's at least 4 funds for the township as it sits right now. There's the rainy day fund, township general, township assistance, and rec fund. So there's 4 funds. And then each of those, so anytime you overspend or you need to spend an amount, you have to appropriate it, right?
Right.
So within each of those funds, when you adopt the budget, there's a personal services, supplies, services and charges, capital outlay, debt service, and township assistance amounts. So there's really 6 major budget classifications. Anytime that you are going to spend an amount, it has to have already been appropriated within the fund, within that major budget classification. So think of it as like, here's the fund level. Then with under each fund, there's these 6 different lines, right? And if you didn't approve that in your budget, enough for any one of those categories, and you overspend or you want to spend it, that's when you have to do an additional appropriation. Yeah.
So now we never before, we just had rainy day fund.
Yes.
That was it.
And there was essentially 0 personal services, 0 supplies, 0 services and charges, 0 capital outlays, 0 debt service, and 0 township assistance amounts to be spent out of the rainy day fund.
So when did that change?
So now we have a line item, and I can't remember exactly what it says, but there's a line item under rainy day fund. So when you guys approved that, that allowed me to move money from rainy day into that line item.
Right.
Well,
I mean, that's at least what I did.
right. So within the rainy day fund,
Within it, yes.
now we have an appropriation for capital outlays. So right, there's still 0 personal services budget. There's still 0 supplies budget. There's still 0 services and charges budget. But now there's a $250,000 capital outlay budget. That's what was done with the additional appropriation.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a transfer.
It's not a transfer. It's new.
Or
It's
additional
new.
then.
It's
We did it-
additional.
So you
Yeah.
created a new
You
additional line
increase
item.
what you really did is you increase the budget. You increase
Right,
the
we
budget.
increased the budget, right.
Yes, yes,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the
We have-
state board goes or the DLGF goes, is in their eyes, what you did is you increased the budget in
Okay,
the
I
rainy
get
day
that
fund.
on by that.
Yeah. There's no transferring. The money's always been there. As long as the money's there, you can do the additional appropriation.
Right.
Yeah. So there's no transferring of anything. There's no,
It does change where that money was to where it is, but it's still out the same fund.
no, the money never changed or went anywhere. It's still there.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's appropriated for that line.
It's
item.
simply appropriated. Nothing has happened to that money.
Right, I didn't think anything happened.
Right,
to it except
right.
we put in a line item.
The money is still, there's a difference between appropriation and disbursements as well.
Well, we haven't dispersed it yet.
Exactly. So the appropriation just allows you to disperse
Right,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's there
yeah.
so we can,
So
anyway, we probably,
So you are writing some new language. Should that appear?
no, I mean,
through the minutes.
no, I don't think we need this still. So as far as the DLGF
It
and
still
state board
works.
goes, this works. Like there's nothing wrong with the language here.
Okay, so we can
We
approve this
yeah.
as
You as a
presented.
board just don't like the language. So when we go, so when I go
We've
and
opened
do
this bailiwick,
yeah,
haven't we?
yeah. So when I do the next time we go through this process, I'll make it say, whereas it has been determined that there is a need for an additional appropriation within the rainy day fund due to increased needs for township facility rental. Right? If we did it again, which we're not going to do it
The
again.
problem
that's-
has been with the word shortfall.
Yes, everybody.
Actually.
Nobody likes the word shortfall.
no,
So-
that means we didn't have enough money. I was reading
Yeah.
that on.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
taking that out basically and replacing it with what he just said. Is
in the
that-
future.
In the future.
In the future,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Today,
yeah,
the
yeah.
minutes, we can approve the minutes as presented because our special counsel here says the State Board of Accounts will accept that and understand it.
Yes. Yeah, they will accept.
In the
and they-
future, we
yeah,
will
there's
make
nothing in
additional
here.
clarification.
Yeah, there's nothing in here that would ever that the DLGF or state board would ever look at it and go, what does that mean? They would know what it means.
Is that simple enough go ahead and pass our minutes and feel comfortable in the future? We will not be we will be careful when we use shortfall. That it truly applies to what we mean.
what it
Yes.
means to us.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so is there a motion, any other question? Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You're not voting?
No. It's confusing, and I have other things in the minutes that's confusing. So
Well, we need,
it's approved too.
okay. So we have 2 approvals and 1 nay. That's for the October 15th minutes. Okay, thank you, Corby.
Mhm.
We'll leave the rest of it to you.
Okay.
And that's what you do, and you do it well, and we usually don't have problems.
No problem.
Maybe what we need is maybe at a good time, maybe further discussion so we can all agree on the language and what we're actually
Yeah, what I can do
trying
is
to do.
I can send Teresa like a template that basically just says, here's the new language. It's
Okay.
instead of saying shortfall, it's just going to say there's an increased need in appropriations for blank fund due to blank for budget year blank, right? And then everything else should be the same as
That's probably a good
presented.
idea.
Yeah.
We can get in the weeds really
Yeah, you
easily
can.
in this language and
Yeah.
how we present it, and we want to be
Yeah.
close to the mark for sure.
It used to be the state board of accounts was hard to deal with. They were really sticklers on some things. And now I know with these different funds, how that's been separated, that makes a difference in how you're doing it. We're-
I would like to
From
know
what
how
I
you
did.
could be third on the agenda, but you somehow weaseled your way into first.
Perfect. I like
You're
that.
just good at it, aren't you? Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions for Corby? We can let him go on, and we'll look forward to your template.
Sure.
So we will have good language in our,
Well,
You might want to stay, yeah, he might want to stay for the update on this building
Okay.
renovation.
it's a good idea.
Also, we did not do one of these.
okay.
This is not current.
Okay. So we do need to do a Form 17 for a salary resolution in the December meeting.
Okay, can we move to 2?
I think so. Is that,
Okay. Second item on our agenda is the office remodel update. And today we have Ryan Metzger with us, who is going to be the construction. What is your last title that we gave you?
Well, I suppose just the construction consultation, because ultimately we'd be hiring a general for this project, that they would be the manager.
Okay,
Just helping move things along in the correct direction, I guess is all I'm helping with on this.
great. He's has done a lot of review and working with the architect on the project, and is here to give us an update. And we also have our council on our budget, so we can talk about that and make sure we have everything in the right place, literally, for Ryan and the money. So go ahead, Ryan, fill us in.
Well, I guess a quick update. I'll tell you everything I know. Just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I met with Teresa. We did a design review on the plans, probably the set that you guys have seen.
Yeah.
That came in a while back. There's a few modifications we came up with. I met with the architect the day after that, which would have been on Monday, I believe. And he is making adjustments to the plans as we speak. So I don't have a completed set yet. The schedule that I talked with him about and he agreed to was having that plan set back to me by first week of December. So that gave him roughly 2.5, 3 weeks to make. It wasn't anything big we changed, just a few little modifications after talking with everybody and how they actually are going to use the space. Some of them I think made sense. So sometime first week of December, I should be able to get those plans back. Teresa and I will do a quick review of the things that we mentioned to him to have adjusted, make sure they're accurate. At that point in time, Peterson Architecture will be sending those plans for state approval. And at the same time, simultaneously, we should be able to advertise those plans for receipt of bids. From my understanding, we need to advertise it twice, a week apart, and they need to be out for 30 days, give contractors time to put their firm fixed price bids together. So that would roughly put us first to second week of January of receiving bids back for evaluation. And hopefully one of the however many we get back is where we need it to be, or where we want it to be, and we can award the contract.
We can always re-advertise if we don't
That's right.
feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be helping with the bid evaluation, on a couple different aspects. Obviously, one's going to be price. One's going to be technical competency of their description of how they're going to go about the project, how they're going to get it done if it makes sense. Yeah, we'll see what we get.
We're gonna ask for references of other projects they've done to consult with them.
Yeah, typically 3 passed. I like to do in the last 5 years, so recent and relevant. Some of the same types of work, such as this remodel, so we can get a good idea. We could call those references if we want to.
I would highly recommend that.
To find out, how the contractor did for them. So once all that's done, I would assume that evaluation period, a week to 2, I would say, we get that done and we make the award probably before the end of January. And then depending on the contractor's schedule, be ready to get boots on the ground, swinging hammers in here.
When would the award be again? I didn't catch it.
Should be in
In the January, but I'm gonna miss
the middle, but
Wednesday.
probably gonna be the end.
Then how do we determine start date? Is that the contractors? Did it go?
Excuse me, they'll put in a schedule. Obviously, the start date's gonna shift, but that just takes the whole, depending on when we award, we'll at least get a construction duration from their bid. So we'll know if it's gonna be a 2-month project or a 4-month project or whatever it is.
And whatever they say, it's probably wrong.
Typically.
And how long are the bids good for? 60 days?
I would say it's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Most contractors, 60 to 90, I would say. I'm trying to work with the architect. Their plans were a little descriptive lacking, I would say. So I'm trying to get as much of the details in there that are driving cost. So we don't get, a bid from the contractor and then after we award to that contractor, then there's, change order. Well, this wasn't, we found this.
Yeah, it worries me because it depends on how good they are getting that out there. 'Cause it needs to be specific for these bids, or it will be change orders and it'll be additional cost.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very, every project's got some form of change order, positive and negative, but usually negative from a financial standpoint typically. But it's part of the whole bid process, right? Is that you guys need to evaluate, the bid pricing and then the reputation of the folks that are within the bids. And Brian will help you guys, evaluate all of that.
Because sometimes that's in what they're bidding on that we will specify. Sometimes we hope that they give us enough information in between the two.
Yeah. There are other ways, which I don't know how Ryan typically goes about it, but there are ways to where you do like a guaranteed maximum price, but then what's going to happen is
They're going to inflate it.
you're right. They're going to inflate the price and it's sometimes it can be in your benefit, but typically, yeah. So yeah, anyways, just wanted to mention that if you're really worried about it.
Yeah, so we'll advertise as we're in need of a firm fixed price. But firm fixed price, there's things that sometimes end up outside of that. Things that are unseen when you're bidding. You open a wall and there's a whole bunch of stuff you didn't expect that you have to move now, or whatever the case is. So there's things that will happen. Like I said, more often than not, something will happen. There will be something. But when we can get references, we can contact their references on past jobs that are recent and relevant. We can see if they're finished on time, under budget, how well they stick to schedule, at least give you an idea. So that helps us make a good informed decision on who to go with.
It doesn't have to be the lowest bid.
On the financial side, does the contractor dictate money in advance, certain payment schedules? How does that work? What What do we need to plan on the financial side and from the standpoint of meeting all the regulations?
Sometimes they will put as a part of their bid package, kind of a payment schedule. Of course, this is their opinion of what they would like to see as a payment schedule. Not me. Teresa's the one that ultimately says yay or nay, or we need to adjust this a little bit. So I think that will be probably more of an in-depth discussion with the awarded contractor once they're awarded to find out exactly what makes sense. There's rarely money down, I would say, on a project this size. They usually get in, they get started, and they have different milestones. Yeah, different milestone they need to hit before that first check is released, or how many payments are on it. And we can be the ones to verify that they have hit that checkpoint and our payment.
Yeah, and once you guys sign that contract, that's you're free of the $50,000 limitations that we keep talking about, or that we did talk about at one point. But yeah, once you have quoted appropriations available, which were approved and presented in the 2026 budget.
And we'll keep Ryan to help inspect that as we go through this for
Right.
our side.
Yeah.
I know they'll have their own, they have their own general manager or whatever, but we need somebody to,
Yeah, they should have a, whatever they call them, site superintendent, project manager,
Yeah,
somebody
whatever.
on site that's verifying everything that's done along the way. So then I can be the one that meets with that project manager to confirm, or if there are any issues, help work through those.
or maybe just do some walk things where you can see what you think as it's being done. Because after the walls or whatever's closed up,
Mhm.
yeah,
But I definitely will, there'll be different points along the way to where the city will come in and inspect. I will make sure I'm present for all those inspections,
Good.
just to make sure everything before it gets covered up, like
Yeah.
you said, whether it's in the floor and the walls,
whatever it
whatever.
might be.
Yeah. And we'll be sure and get lots of pictures for documentation for any future renovations, so we know where stuff is.
Yeah.
From the fund side, we obviously don't have any bids yet, so we don't know where it's going to come out.
Sure.
But a typical commercial remodel is a pretty big range, anywhere from $200 to $500 a foot, and it's about 4,000 feet. So if we end up in the middle there at 3, somewhere around 1.2 for this remodel, I don't know if that is rainy day funds that gets appropriated to the capital or whatever the other.
Yeah, we've used a combination of funds. We've essentially used all of the rainy day funds, which I believe will cover, I can't remember exactly what the amount is that we have in there right now. Do you?
I think it was 1.6.
Yeah, so
Or
that,
1.8.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we-
So, and I believe the plan was that all of this would be coming out of the rainy day fund.
Yeah.
Both projects, I think we had it that both projects, community center and this, would be covered by rainy day.
So it's already appropriated.
Yeah,
It's there.
it's all
It's
appropriated. Every single dollar of the rainy day fund was appropriated for in 2026. So, yes, it's all quote available if needed.
Um,
My only question would be for your payment. Is there a contract for your services, or is there anything out there?
We
That-
don't have one in place at this point, but there also hasn't really, I
He
haven't
hasn't
done
charged
anything
me
yet.
anything.
Okay.
Not very little anyways. Few meetings
Well,
with the
obviously you're
architect.
gonna want to get paid for this. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
need to.
Yeah, well,
I kept
Yeah.
talking.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Don't tell me,
It's only
Charlotte.
there. Yes.
Yeah,
In fact,
yes, we had agreed on a price. I don't even know if you remember that, for like a, whatever, call it, yeah.
Mhm.
And yes, I kept saying, is everybody keeping track?
well, yes,
Um,
I have kept track, to
Okay.
answer your question.
Okay.
I'm not to the point to where, I need to invoice you or anything yet.
Okay,
You
But
can
what I
invoice
can
that
do-
in pieces. You don't have to wait till the end.
I guess, would it be best then if I write up, a contract with what we had discussed and we both
Yeah.
sign, and
Yeah.
if you need to modify the contract or language or anything, let me know, but
Okay.
I can write that up.
And we did do contracts for the community center
Okay.
between him and I.
Okay.
Which I thought I emailed.
Yeah, you did. You did. I remember seeing them. I just want to make sure for any purposes that we have something, because state board will come and say,
Right.
hey, let me see everything that was related to this project. I want to see
Yes.
the bids. I want to see your contract. They'll ask for that information. So I just want to make sure we have that in writing.
Yeah, he just hasn't, he hadn't charged
Some of my projects.
for anything. So we haven't done.
Yeah, it'll be a contract just like for us, right?
It helps him too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we've got showing
When I say,
accountability.
he can come back and say,
Yeah.
Or somebody
sorry.
honest takes a look at
Yeah.
us and says, who's this person you're paying all this money
Yeah.
to?
Yeah,
Well, we have this, he's working for us.
yeah,
Well, I just want to make sure, because a lot of times this stuff has to get bond funded, and then you get these big attorneys downtown that'll come in and make sure all this stuff's covered. Now, luckily, you guys have enough cash to where
right.
we can cash fund these things. So I want to make sure that we're still going through those steps and making sure that you guys are covered, that he's
Right.
Yeah.
covered himself as well. But
Types of us.
yeah.
So does this contract be approved by us? We keep putting
With the
together
consultant?
yeah, the board should approve that contract. Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
The
yes.
actual contract, because I think we had already approved
So much
Ryan being a consultant.
more. Mhm.
Okay, well,
So-
okay.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nobody had an issue with it at
No.
that point. I mean, I could go back and make sure it was in the minutes, but
I
we did talk
sure
about it.
was.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Because
said
we
we,
need that for us.
right, and that, so I don't know if that counts or if we have to have the actual contract and.
So I'm not an attorney, so it's really hard for me to say
Right,
exactly
right.
where the lines fall there. But I guess
thought we had even discussed how much.
Yeah,
I believe
so
we
much.
did,
How
yeah,
much to pay an hour.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it kind of falls in with those lines too of
Right.
what's a reasonable expectation of what he's going to get paid. If it's
Right.
over certain amounts, then that's where the board would have to approve it. Now, if it's obviously a smaller amount, then Teresa can just approve it, right? If the heat goes out, she can obviously just go
Right.
and sign a contract. But when
this
it
is
gets to a
bigger
certain
project,
amount,
he's
I
gonna
don't.
have to work on
Right.
this,
It's legally, I don't know where the line gets drawn specifically on those kinds of things, but
I think we had agreed on 75 an hour, is that right?
Is that fair?
Mhm.
yeah, which that sounds completely reasonable, obviously.
I
But
think it's-
again, I don't know. Are you going to work 1,000 hours? Because then,
We
right,
don't
then
know.
it's right, exactly. So I don't. That's where legally I don't know where the lines get drawn there.
Plumbers
Yeah,
make one.
yeah.
You better believe they do. So do electricians. Depending on what they do.
I did hear
Well, if
something
you
that
put the
triggered my
contract
thought
together,
process.
Yeah.
Let us see it and prove it, and then go from there.
Okay.
Even though we've already.
Yeah.
we've
done
got-
it.
That
we've
was
got
a
what it's
short
done,
term,
just
but
He
Yeah.
didn't write it.
Okay,
This is just a detail, but a while back, we talked about heating and cooling new systems, and Teresa, I think, was more in favor of using what we already had. Did that ever get changed to new?
I
Ours is
don't know,
fairly new anyway.
I was gonna say, I don't know,
So on
I
the,
think,
the units themselves that are currently in use here, those will be reused. Now with the layout changing, obviously there's gonna be a test and balance report we're gonna get. Everything's gonna kind of be rerouted, so that we make sure we're getting there where we need it. But the units themselves will be reused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, there's a,
But you need more
a
than
prime
that.
situation to where they get in here and there's, something wrong with one, significantly that it needs to be replaced.
Or you need a heavier one.
Well, anymore, that
Same.
this heating and cooling system seems to have a 10-year lifespan. And I think the units we have are more than 10 years, were they not?
Oh,
I don't know, probably. I mean, we have,
we replaced something when Tom was here.
might have.
Yeah, I think.
I was gonna say Beaver maintains all of
He can
our
tell us,
stuff.
yeah.
Now, I did have to replace, over at the shelter,
Mhm.
I did replace that last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I was gonna say when Daryl was in there.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, that might have been 2 years ago we replaced that.
Take a look at
This
that.
building, I'm not sure. I'd have to look and see.
They'll all be evaluated. I'm confident of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure there'll be new ductwork and everything too.
I'm
so,
sure, yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah.
I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
wind up getting something there.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
They currently have these little 8-inch round ducts, which is not typical for a acoustical ceiling like this. It's typically a 24 by 24 diffuser. And we will be upgraded to all of those in everywhere, every room.
I'm sure there's.
So there may be some duct upsizing or different things like
We'll
that.
get that in.
Okay.
Well, that covers my concerns at least. Yeah.
So you're all set.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
problems.
no, I mean, that all sounds good. I mean, I mean, you guys are going through the process as you should. Yeah. I
Is
think
this
there's-
something you want to be involved in as we go along and look at paperwork that comes in? How much involvement do you
I mean,
want?
that's why you have him, in my opinion, right? That's why you're
Right.
hiring him, because I can tell you the numbers behind things, but
Yeah, he's
Ryan's
more
going to be the one
accountant.
you're going to be leaning on to make sure that the bids and everything's getting done appropriately on time and correctly.
If it comes, how do you keep track of what your bottom line's going to be when it's coming in?
Surely you're
That
running.
there's going to be a price on the bid that says it will be within this amount of money, and then that's what we hold them to, and
Only to-
we don't
Yes,
have any problems at the end that we're in the proverbial shortfall.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys sign that contract, that's the contract
That's
they're going to
it.
be held to unless there's a change order.
And
I mean,
change order,
that's
and
yep,
then we have
yep,
to okay, or somebody has to okay that change order
correct.
before they
Yep.
can charge us.
Yeah.
Same as when you're
But,
building a house.
That's a catch-22. If you need a change order, you need a change order, and
You always
it's-
want to keep record of the change order and when it's
Well,
go
you-
to your bottom line.
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's not a negotiable truly, because if you need something, you need it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. It's reason it's always going to be a
So
little bit more.
it is a concern.
Sure, yeah. And then you've got to look at it and say, is that legit? And that's what you'll do.
Yeah, and that's something you always deal with because you award the contract as a firm fixed price. That contractor's got the job. So then if you select a contractor that maybe doesn't have a totally honest reputation, then they can come in and say, oh, we need a change order for this. Now, for that change order, they know we're not getting more bids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to evaluate, they could jack that price way up. Hopefully that's where my experience and expertise can help evaluate that and say,
Absolutely.
you're gonna do the work, but not for that price, or
Yeah.
whatever the case is.
Yeah.
It's gotta be fair and reasonable.
Mhm. And
Okay.
that's where you'll come in and you'll hand it.
Mhm.
Because we wouldn't have a clue.
Hopefully you never have a change order, but.
Oh, I bet you do.
Then we get a medal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you'll get a medal and they'll get a medal.
Well, it's exciting. I don't think I thought we could get it going that quickly and by the first year. About how long do you think it will take, or have you gotten to that stage?
I mean, we'll get much more accurate when we hear from contractors. Me being a contractor myself, I would probably guesstimate, probably they're gonna be in here about 4 months.
I was thinking 6.
I would say.
I hope you're right, but I
I
can
would
see
say start to finish. Now,
Maybe-
they could come in and they could estimate 6, you know.
just
If you're a
to say,
contractor bidding on a firm fixed, you're gonna wanna cover yourself, you know,
Mhm.
so if you think you can get it done in 4, then you probably put on the bid 5, or, you know,
yeah,
whatever.
because there's always something, whether it's the weather, whether it's your crew, whether it's whatever, there's variables.
Oh, yeah.
Or something coming in,
Mhm.
maybe it's been shipped from China.
One of the concerns that I hear a lot about from staff, and it is a concern, how we continue operation and where that should be. Have you given any thought to any usage of this building at all? Are we totally to evacuate? What is your thought process
Teresa and
on
I
that?
have talked about that a few times, and my opinion is, so there's, you can phase a project, right? So we could have a contractor come in here and just plastic off the hallway and do the whole backside while everybody's still working up there.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna swap. But what comes with phasing is cost. It costs money because they have to do everything twice. They can't come through here and do all the drywall work and
Mhm.
all the painting and all the electrical. They gotta, set up once to do it here, and then the electrician leaves and comes back and does the second time, and there's cost involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can avoid it, everything out of here, out of the offices, pictures off the wall, I mean, completely empty space when the contractor starts day one is the most ideal. Now, what that looks like as far as them still,
Have you figured
they
out
still
where
need
you're
to
gonna
work.
set up camp?
We have a few ideas for that, and I'm just kind of waiting to get some concrete dates set. We can use a couple rooms at the library if we want to. We have talked about just moving over into the community center. I mean, we've tossed around a ton of ideas. We can operate like we did during COVID. We had shut down for a brief period of time, but our cell phones rang. We had the line set up. There's an app with tailored systems you can use. So if somebody calls, and you got to listen to the prompts, but if they're trying to reach like me, they can hit the right prompt and it'll ring to my cell phone and I can pick up from there. And they wouldn't have to leave a message. We can also check messages outside of the office. We can, our computers are set up that we can work from home with all of that stuff. So we have options. The Jaeger building right over here also had some rental space available. We kind of talked around that idea.
I think you almost need someplace where people could come in, like,
Which is why we talked about the library.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're going to be operating bare minimum. Like, we're not going to operate a food pantry.
Yeah.
Shauna has contact pretty much every day with the Noble Act team. So if there's a homeless person, we can communicate and take care of them. It may just be going to where they are, not somebody dropping them off at an office that sometimes happens.
What about one of our facilities,
Like our shelter,
shelters?
both our shelters are currently full. I don't think this guy's going anywhere anytime soon. We did talk about potentially using that.
Yeah.
The family over at our South 11th may be out soon, and that could potentially be an option. We've also been asked to, if we can, maybe hold a shelter open during the winter time, just so if there is a homeless person, it would give them a couple nights to get out of the cold, or at least one night to get out of the cold. We just had a situation where a girl was living in a tent. Shelters were full. We were calling every day for at least a week or two, and Shauna couldn't get her anywhere. I think they finally did. I think Aspire may have stepped in, and we finally got her into a shelter or something, but we were going on a full 2 weeks when the weather dropped to like 30 and we couldn't get her anywhere. So we tossed around the idea of, once this family leaves, leaving a shelter open for that purpose until not to get somebody like back on their feet like we currently do, but is there a shelter that you can go to?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, but we have tossed around those ideas too. It would just depend on how quickly anybody gets out of them.
Well, it's difficult for them right now calling in, like you mentioned, the Jaeger building,
Yeah.
where you call and say, hey, do you have any office space for rent? And they say, yeah, when you need it. Like, well, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Maybe
Yeah.
February,
Yeah.
maybe
Unless
March.
you want to start paying rent
maybe we
now.
will.
Yeah.
Some will do that.
Yeah.
Well, you need to think about it. He wants everything out.
Yeah, you
Or
got.
you
We're
look
gonna
for
get pods, I think. Is what we talked about, those,
You got
the pod, they're called pods, right? Yeah.
I would take everything already or start podding it that you don't like these.
Well, the pods are big, but we have already started cleaning out that room. Beverly has started working on our file room, what we can move to. Anything that's been audited or past that 7-year mark, which we have quite a bit. We're just moving to the basement to the community center. Food will have to go into a pod. And right now, we're still operating the food pantry.
Sure you are.
But yeah, everybody has already started what we can do something with. We've already started doing something
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, because there's some of this.
Yeah.
I envision too, whenever we get to that end of January mark, where we've selected a contractor and get something awarded. At that point, at a minimum, we tell the contractor, hey, the earliest start date is, say 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And that's when they can really pack things up. I don't know if, moving company's gonna be involved, move desks and, I don't know where
Yeah.
we're putting
Yeah,
stuff,
you
but,
got,
Right.
yeah.
that could all happen in that.
Come to
that
our
kinda
office building. Sky Blue.
2 week period.
Is there space?
We may have taken
Well,
it.
guys, we'll get on your space
Yeah.
if you would get out. But
I don't know. Yeah, there could be.
Is it
Yeah,
blue?
because.
It's called Sky Blue.
the
There's a
buildings
blue,
up
no,
there
blue
by-
sky, blue
Is it
sky.
Sky?
Yeah, it's blue
Here in
sky. Yeah,
Noblesville?
yeah, right
Out
across
by
the river.
Burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
above Blue Burger.
You know, that is a good idea.
Yeah, that's
I'll call-
under the government.
Have you checked with Rocky at all?
We did.
Yeah,
I
just everything.
can't remember, Shauna checked with him. I can't remember what he said, but again, we don't have a concrete date.
Well,
So
but-
we couldn't move forward on anything.
But even if you didn't have, you might want to be renting this so that you can move all this furniture and stuff.
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
real
what I'm
hard. You got
thinking.
big
Maybe
tables.
you go ahead and.
Yeah,
Well,
rent it.
this stuff, like what would be set up anywhere would basically be computers and any, Beverly just made a list of like, we'll take 100 applications with us, 100 just different forms
Mhm.
that we need. So Beverly's worked on that list. And we're gonna put it in a box, so we'll have all that together.
So you almost
So-
have two different, so you're gonna have some storage of stuff that you don't need for the next
Right.
4 months, such as this conference table.
Right.
Right,
And then you're gonna have everything else moved wherever, that you're going to need for the next 4 months.
yeah.
And I guess,
That's
is there anything
basic.
that can stay that they can work around, or does that all need to be clean?
There definitely is. There's, some things that can be left back, and, covered and work around. That's the best option. Like I said, just in a perfect world, for 2 reasons. One,
Sure.
it's not in the contractor's way, and 2, we don't have to run the risk of them damaging,
Damaging.
like this table, for
Like this
instance, when they're.
big-
But this
Put
is
that thing
big
in there.
table.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I'm
It
just
is.
coming for it.
It seems to me that the goal would be to provide your consistent service, and just in a new location. Just because
Right.
you're moving location doesn't mean things have to be cut out of the
No,
process.
but realistically, we can't do the food pantry because we can't move our food pantry. So that would just have to wait until we reopen again. We couldn't move food from here to, say, the Jaeger building or Blue Sky.
Why?
Because you're talking about moving pounds of food somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we just,
Yeah.
29 food pantries in Hamilton County. Nobody's gonna go hungry.
We just had to donate to them and start over when.
when you
That's
open, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
fresh.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
That's a
not,
good
but-
idea.
yeah, and then you wouldn't have to because.
Because you want that
Well,
room empty too, don't you?
Yeah, all the.
So
rooms
you're
were-
gonna have to move it somewhere.
Right, we'd either be moved in a pod or, yeah, whatever. But I don't think we're gonna have
My
enough
grief.
space to move it somewhere.
And I think the other point is location, because you've got your walk-ins, there's a lot of people that do that, and the closer you can find something, if the people come here, then the closer you are, they don't have to walk all the way to the
Right.
library, say.
Get transportation.
Yeah, so I
Most of
think
the-
those are, and
Most
I'm
of the
sure there's
homeless
even more
people-
goals that, you know, you need to think about.
Yeah, most of the homeless people hang out at the library. So honestly, if Shauna was there once a week, it would probably be helpful, quite frankly.
Well, that's a good
I mean,
idea.
it probably
Save them a
would.
walk.
Yeah, it would. It saves them, saves anybody from coming. Actually, I just now thought about that. That might not be a bad idea.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's the
But-
kind of thinking you
Are they
need
open to
to
us coming
come
here?
up with.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
open to us. It's a free room. You just go online and you reserve the room for however long you need. We talked about doing that, like if we had set appointments, because we can do phone interviews. People can do an application online. People already scan their documents to us. So if we had a set appointment time, then we could reserve that library room and just call people and say, we'll have to meet you at the library. So,
We
yeah.
talked about getting a van. We could run a van service for
Yeah,
here
rent a
to the
van,
library.
yeah.
It is gonna be
Yeah.
cold, you know,
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be awful.
Yeah,
which makes it even more complicated, I think.
Yeah.
People needing
yeah,
fuel money and so forth.
Yeah.
It sounds like, I really think in a project this size and so forth, as soon as we get to the point that we're ready to go, getting your space
It may be
and
that you
starting
have-
your process would be in order.
In fact, I probably rented earlier than later, and even if you move stuff over that you didn't need right this minute, we're gonna need, you'd be ahead of the game. I wanna tell you, I've moved a number of times. It is never as easy and as organized as you think it will be.
no,
It is a
definitely won't.
nightmare, and this would be a bad nightmare.
Now, what about your phones? You can use your cell phone, that's
Uh-huh.
easy, but you do have landlines coming in.
Yeah, I would have to get with Tailored Systems. I'm sure we, huh?
Yeah, moving forward.
Yeah, it would just be forwarded to your cell phones. Like Westfield Township, they used to take, I believe they took every Friday off. But the phones,
Okay.
kind of, the phones would go to the landline phone would ring to a cell phone. So people were actually picking up.
Yeah, we have an
Yeah,
ancient phone service at our firm that's what we have.
Yeah.
We finally got rid of them entirely, so now it's only cell phones, but.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
anytime I call your like the bus's office, I get somebody that answers, but then I get transferred, I think, to your cell phone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think there is still a line, but we're like trying to get rid of it, so that's almost.
Yeah.
Ours goes direct to everybody, so.
yeah, because you guys are basically operating out of
Right.
no office.
Right.
Essentially,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then my question goes back to you, Ryan, is leaving, I mean, right now they have phones sitting on a desk. So what do they do with the phones? So they're not sitting on a piece of furniture and that makes a problem for the contractor. So how do we do that? Computers, whatever else? Is all that going to have to be stored or like lines and physical lines?
Short
and that
answer,
kind of thing?
yes, but we will have some interaction with, so is it Tailored Systems and Guardian?
Right,
That's security and phone, computer?
yes.
Okay, so both of them will obviously be involved in the construction phase prior to drywall going up because jacks are going to be moved. We need to have their wire where they want it.
Okay.
I haven't had conversations with each of them directly yet, But I assume they have people that come in and do that, run wire and put jacks in. So I don't know if they'll be the ones to like just come and pick up the equipment and store it until we're ready for it again, or if that's something.
Ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a question for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find out what. I don't even know. Do you guys own the equipment, or is it technically theirs?
I think it's,
ours.
yeah, I was gonna say it's ours. I think we
Okay.
paid for the phones.
Yeah, all the phones are ours. It's just we paid for the service.
Right.
Okay.
And
The-
you're working on those details. Somebody is coming up with all these.
Yeah,
Because
Ryan and
it's
I
gonna
had,
get
yeah, Ryan and I
more
made a
fine lined
list.
and more,
Yeah.
more fine lined.
Yeah, we made a list of things that need to be thought about and figured out before we get to construction.
That Guardian is California, right?
Garden.
Guardian?
Yeah.
Well, I
They
don't
did
know if
my
they're
house when I built it.
California, but yeah.
One I went,
Guardian's
the one I went,
Is where you can help these gals on their timeline and the details, and I think that's going to be a really important part in the beginning.
Yeah,
And then get settled, you can let them do their thing, and we turn your attention to the
Yeah.
physical construction.
So my thought between now and probably the middle of our solicitation phase, so between now and Christmas, basically, putting together probably a Microsoft projects schedule. We don't have exact dates yet, but it's going to have a lot of, it'll have all the things that need to happen in a time period, even though we don't know exactly when that time period is. And then as we move forward, we can just adjust that schedule to make sure we're not missing something and we get time for the contractor to start. We still got a bunch of stuff in here because we didn't plan appropriately or whatever the
that's
case
what I was
is.
worried about. That's the reason, if you had to rent something a little bit early, you just put that in your construction costs.
Yeah. And you've got to say if it's tailored, you got to get on their schedule to come out.
Mhm.
And who knows how long that takes. And so a lot of detail could be fouling
Yeah.
up your start date if you're
Yeah.
not on
Yeah.
top
We
of
wanna
it.
be
And it
ready
sounds
for
like
all
these gals
processes.
are trying to do everything they can. So maybe that would be an important
Yeah,
part right now.
we don't want to end up being the holdup. I do know that. So
Yeah.
we'll,
I'm sure.
between Teresa and I we'll make sure.
When do you
everything's
think it
covered
would
there.
be appropriate to start that process?
Well, I think as far as like Guardian and tailored systems, those are conversations I could have with them now of, hey, this is what we're planning. What do you need from us, basically? Or,
Yeah,
if we need to get on their schedule for coming out and whatever they need to do. If they want to come out and unhook everything and then come back out when it's the appropriate time for them to drop cables in the right spots in the new office layout. Whatever the case is, I think those conversations can happen now, anytime.
I think some of that is real important, because if you're really talking the timeline that we're talking now, you don't have long to get this
no,
all.
this is
I
really,
bet I'm
pretty
going in
quick.
apoplex a year thinking, you guys don't have a clue how long this takes. If we did this at the courthouse, when we renovated the old one, oh my Lord, what a mess. Of course, with women, we were all hysterical.
Well, we're gonna do our best to make this one run smooth. See how it goes.
Yeah, I'm not, well, you'll survive.
I do have one question, and Teresa, I don't know if this is the appropriate group of people to ask them from. This may be directly for your attorney, but I was wanting to, and you may already have the answer, of kind of the exact layout of how we solicit this project once we have the plans in hand.
He did.
Do you know exactly what we need to do?
Yeah, the attorney, I can find that email. He had emailed me, and I think it should,
I just remember
yeah,
we had advertised it twice, and you said
Right.
advertisement means what, the local paper and your website?
I said we could put it on the website, but from what I see with like the city and other townships and stuff, they put it in the Hamilton County Reporter. We can obviously advertise on the website.
Then you'll have to have your packs ready for them to come pick up.
Right, yeah.
So I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to, like you said, advertise it twice.
Right.
And then obviously you've got people you'll be
There's
reaching out
something
to as well.
about within 10 days, like I think you have to advertise once and then wait 10 days and advertise again, I think. But I can find the email that the attorney did send me out.
I would probably go beyond the reporter. If
I
I'm
don't
on
even know where,
the star, I'd go, you need, if you're talking a big project, it's not like, yeah, what
I mean,
did Debbie do?
The legal requirement's going to say the local paper, but for
Right.
just general purposes, if you want to do it to the Star or whatever, you can definitely do that. But yeah, the legal requirements are going to say your local paper.
Yeah, I know they do for like a lot of stuff, but I didn't know, because when we did bids at the
Yeah.
highway and stuff,
I
we
mean,
went out.
I think realistically, the people that are going to be interested in the project, they're going to
probably
know about it.
already
Yeah, they're going to know about
Yeah,
it, right? And
right.
Ryan will know that.
And
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
wondered too.
yeah.
And the reason I asked and very specific in my questions, I come from the federal side and we had a very specific way of, we advertised on sam.gov. We couldn't call the contractors to say, hey, there's something new you may want to look at.
Yeah,
We
because
weren't allowed
that's
to do that.
biased.
Yeah, we
Right.
couldn't do that. They had to find it themselves. They have their own keywords set up that, they get emails from. And so that's the reason that's,
he did not mention anything about sam.gov.
I wouldn't think so, being a township project.
Right.
Yeah,
It's probably
Yeah.
much
Right,
less
not
restrictions than what
Yeah.
I'm used to, but just want to make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
we get it out to other companies, but it might be good.
I don't
Yeah,
even-
because I can call a lot of people that would probably be very interested. Just want to make sure I can before I make that call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I believe you can, but
I-
probably
yeah.
check with your attorney first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe you definitely can.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Well, and I thought Peterson had,
And there's a
I
couple that were already notified of.
right, and I
You
thought
notified him? Did you?
Darren, yeah,
Peterson
Okay, well,
Architecture.
then you could too.
yeah. But that's when we were just looking for estimates, but I thought there was something like he could do that, like he could say, here's this project and like as part of the service, I guess is how I was thinking.
Mhm.
But then obviously follow the bid process.
I would imagine it's a lot like when we sell bonds, right? We have like a mailing list that we'll send out, right? Whoever's going to the, sending out the bids and everything, right? They're going to have a mailing list of all these potential,
I think it would be good. to have
contractors, but
reach out.
But I would say ideally in a project this size, we get 3 to 5 bids. Usually if you get more than that, it just delays, and it takes us longer to evaluate them, but we've got to read through all of them.
And then,
They're not like single page bids either. They're going to be,
no, they should be a lot like that.
so, if we get 12 bids that come in and then we got to evaluate all 12 of them to be fair, the same way for everybody.
And some, depending on their workload, may not even bid.
It's true.
And then they are not maybe more hungry ones, don't have jobs.
Well, it sounds like to me, this is going to get kicked up pretty fast.
Yeah, this-
We really,
Yeah, I just think that,
sounds scary to me.
yeah,
I
and
don't
with the
know.
holidays involved for you guys
Yeah.
in here for Christmas with employees being off and different things happening. Are gonna be on a crunch sooner or later.
And
We
of
got
course,
it.
the board is here.
I already
now.
started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here to help.
Don't worry.
Everyone's on it.
I got it.
Yeah, you're going,
We
That
got
one?
it,
Yeah,
we
got it. Half of the files in there is already gone in the basement, so.
Yeah, I was gonna, they all started working on
That's
stuff.
good.
Do you have your proposed schedule that you just gave us verbally in writing anywhere?
I don't yet. That's the project schedule I need to put together.
Yeah.
With those dates among a lot of other things that need to happen.
Yeah,
in
you're gonna have
between
others that probably won't even be on a schedule till.
Would the board be interested in having copies of things like that just to kind of keep us on track and we quit asking silly questions?
Oh, no,
Because
we're gonna
we've
still
had
ask silly questions.
printed
I'm not
down.
taking that.
You're not taking that away?
But I will provide that to Teresa, and I'm sure she has no
Yeah,
problem sharing it
that
with
way.
you all.
Okay. That would be great.
At the
We
same
can
time.
still,
Yeah,
we
you're
can
right.
still ask.
Right,
them.
exactly, yeah, and you're more organized than me.
We go up to-
I'll be going, I didn't even look at that, I'll just come and ask you, what we're doing over here.
as well as the updated prints, which I should have, like I said, about the first week of December. If
All
you're
goes well.
interested in that,
Yeah.
we can share those out too.
Are you feeling positive on that, or?
Yeah, I think the plans are pretty solid. So when I first talked to Teresa about it, she was already, a year and a half into this from when they started with Peterson.
Mhm.
Typically for a job this size, an architect, it's like maybe 3 months. I'm like, you started how long ago?
Yeah.
That's where
I don't think they thought she was serious.
I think the next day I went over there and met with both Darren and James, and just kind of sat down and talked. What are we doing here, guys? What is there a contract in place? Or
Yeah.
Anyways, they started moving at that point. They sent the drawings out initially when they had multiple contractors coming in and walking around with tape measures and measuring stuff. And I'm like, we have architectural drawings. These aren't construction drawings. How can anybody bid off of this?
Yeah.
We don't have mechanical, we don't have electrical, we don't have plumbing. So at that point, they're like, okay, well, we don't have that in-house, so we're going to hire a sub to do all the MEP drawings.
Okay.
We finally got those back, and then they kind of meshed everything together. So we're very, very close to having constructible drawings.
By the first of the year.
Yeah.
Good.
Good work.
Yeah, what's the season in building?
Because they have been on it, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be ready next week.
At least one last question for me. We're doing the interior in the winter, perfect,
Mhm.
but we have some exterior work we want to do. So, is that still something you're going to help us with, like painting and
I
something?
definitely can help. As you know, we've got a bid on the painting. It seems like a very reasonable price for, I think, all three of these buildings. My recommendation would be to get all the construction done inside and outside, and the last thing to be painting. That way we're not messing it up and then having to come back. So thinking about that, probably first thing in the spring, as soon as the weather breaks, would be a good time
Yeah.
whenever this construction's done.
That also made me think of the signage. That's if you, we have a bid, we have, they'll take it to design. All we have to do is tell them what we want, the details we want,
Right.
and that can be ready at any point. But I don't know that we've shared that with you.
I have the sign quote. I thought, I
Yeah.
don't know if I showed
I
it
don't know if
to
I've seen the quote, but I did meet with the guys. You were there.
Yeah.
And since then, we do have a quote,
Okay.
but he hasn't gone to design, so that's gonna take some time.
you. Right.
And
I
we've
have
got
the
time
quote,
right now,
but-
so.
I didn't know if we wanted, is that the very last thing? I mean, obviously you don't want to put a sign on the community center right now, because if you're gonna still redo the facade,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
So
gonna be messing.
Well,
with
no, I'm not
Logically-
saying install. I'm
Right.
saying
Yeah.
design,
we could have
pull the
design all
trigger
approved,
with
ready to
this
go.
company if
Yeah.
you like what he's doing and the price was right.
As far as installation, they would come immediately following next year.
And we've got awnings to prepare. I mean, they've got a lot of work to do. And they're pretty slow too.
Okay.
That's what I've kind of seen from them. So I like to get on everybody's list, get them thinking about it anyway.
Yeah.
So it is in between you guys. I assume you have a process. If something comes in on your computer or physically, then do you pass that on, or you have a system for that?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. So we need to, yeah. We need a system.
We got
Ryan.
one.
Yeah, got to.
We got one.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, anything else? Anything else, Joe?
Mm,
No. Next item on our agenda is to tour the community center, and those that haven't seen it, it is fabulous. So anyone that wants to have a great,
There's somebody renting over there, which I did not realize.
oh, there's somebody in there?
They told us we could go and see it.
Oh,
You can
really?
pick.
Yeah. That's what they told me when I was up at the desk.
Oh, they,
Yeah.
yeah, what time does their, well, Joe's seen it.
I'll see.
Yeah.
Nice,
When you've seen it. but I
Yeah.
haven't.
nice.
Yeah, great,
Yeah,
great
I mean, I
job.
can take you over there when,
Okay, when, yeah.
yeah.
And it is the best deal in town as far as a awesome,
Yeah,
currently updated, beautiful community center. And it is for rent at a price people can't believe. And it's very popular. So if you, there's another opportunity. If we do go into the community center, we gotta mark the calendar out.
we
Yeah,
already have.
Good.
We did that months ago.
okay, that's good, because that
Yeah.
probably would be a good
You
answer.
probably do. with
Yeah,
the best
we
things
We did that a
for
long, yeah, we did that a
Yeah,
long
because
time
then you
ago.
just go from here to there to say you need something or need it out of your pods or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, parking's gonna be an issue because you're gonna have all the construction guys plus the pods and that kind of thing. So,
Can we?
Parking is an issue everywhere.
exactly,
Don't
exactly.
think you're not
So,
included.
yeah, potentially,
Then that
Yeah.
wouldn't be too bad a walk.
yeah. So, yep. We
Well,
bounced around all those ideas.
You would like to take a tour?
Yes. But I'll
Okay.
wait till you guys are all.
And that does finish our business unless
Unless
there's
you got
anything.
anything.
I don't think so.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
I'll take that motion.
All in favor, say
I
aye.
think it's the second.
Thank you,
No,
guys.
no,
Yeah,
no,
thank
I
you.
need to vote.
Can't do it without you. That's
Hey,
for sure.
Corey,
Yes.
did you see the 1782?
Oh, yeah, I gotta get that. Yes.
I mean, I can
I have. Yeah, I'll take a look. I mean, I'm
gonna
assuming they
say,
approved everything.
They did, I don't.
Give me
Here, yeah,
your
actually,
pen.
yours